We've had plenty of people come to us saying, I want to develop a forum on my website for my customers. And it's like, go use something else because your customers aren't going to go there because you're not Sephora, you're not Apple. I don't even think Apple has one, but I'm just saying there's only a certain amount of companies that can do that. Content is a long game that business owners just don't quite understand. And when we're talking content, we're talking website content, we're talking social media content, we're talking video content, we're talking email marketing content, we're talking about all the contents.
Yeah, and by long game, they don't really get how long that is. Why don't you give us an idea of what you mean by long game?
So when I work with people on video content, I tell them produce a video for 100 days. Produce one video every day for 100 days. Now, it doesn't mean like Saturday and Sunday, but if you want to do Saturday and Sunday, you'll get your 100 days quicker. But it's what it boils down to is consistency and people taking you seriously. And I'm not saying 100 days is the magic number, but if you look at yourself at day 1 versus day 100, you are more confident. Content ideas come to you faster, and people believe you're going to stick around, because what happens is business owners get into the content game and they think, oh, I'm going to have this amazing ROI right away, and they don't.
Yeah, we tell a lot of clients you need to give it at least 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months at least, but I'm saying if you want to get a jump start like on being consistent, just challenge yourself for 100 days to do whatever you want to do. If that's a blog post once a week, if that's a social post every day, if that's a video every day, you want to be consistent for at least 6 months. So the video thing's a little bit different, but consistency is the game because people are just like, oh, they've never posted before. Give yourself 6 months when it comes to starting any form of content. I say the 100 days thing mainly just to get people doing 100 videos, and they'll feel so much better at the end. But after 6 months of developing content, you should see needles moved, especially if you're SEO keywording blog content. You should see that with more engagement and more views. On your social media, you should see more impressions, a little bit more followers. The follower is not the thing you should be looking at. You should really be looking at the engagement rate, the reach rate, the impressions, and not the follower count. Just leave the vanity metrics out the window, though some people would say views is a vanity metric. But just give yourself 6 months on any form of content. It is a long game, and people will take you seriously if you keep up with it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I like to say that you really find your voice by using it. So giving it that challenge of 100 videos, one every day at least, and then giving it some time really allows you, your brand, your content creators to really dig down deep and hone that voice and find it and really have it come easier and easier the more that you use it. So that's great. What other content marketing shifts should businesses be making this year?
Other content shifts we are seeing is we are seeing business owners putting some resources into building out communities. And what I mean by that is, yes, Facebook groups have been around forever, but the younger crowd, they don't like Facebook groups. So we're seeing them go to things like Slack, Discord, Telegram, and we're seeing communities built there. Substack's another one where creators or businesses or brands are building communities out there. We are seeing the Instagram broadcast channels being used more and the Instagram subscribe channels, but the subscribe channels aren't open to everybody. I'm seeing broadcast channels open more to smaller creators. We have the option to start a broadcast channel. We're working on figuring out what that's going to be about. But really, it's like taking those people off one platform and putting them on another. You don't necessarily own it, but it's a more gated community that people can come and go and in and out of.
And what should the behavior of the brand be in those communities? Are they just going to be selling to me all the time when I'm in one?
Not selling, giving more information, pulling back the curtain, behind the scenes, I've seen a influencer that's big on TikTok. She will just do daily polls. She'll ask people like, what should my next video be about? Should my video be about, Valentine's Day looks? And then she'll go from there and say, which kind of Valentine's Day looks do you want to see? It's helping shape the creator's content. I'm going to use your favorite example, the Jeff Tweedy Substack. It has a free part where he will talk and he'll give little tips and tricks, and then he'll have his where he drops a song in the paid version. So some of these versions will go into you can get this free content. Oh, but if you want more of a peek behind the curtain, here's this new thing. Yeah. I've also seen where brands drop a coupon code. So everyone said they will sell, but it's not often. Their whole thing is to be knowledgeable and there for their consumers. And sometimes it's a two-way street and sometimes it's not. The Instagram broadcast channels are not a two-way street. You can only talk. They can't talk back. But I've seen in the Substacks, people can comment. In the Slack channels, people can Slack back. In Discord, I'm not seeing a lot of interaction. It's similar to what I have seen. An Instagram broadcast channel.
Yeah, exactly. I love all of those examples. I think it's really important to remember how you're going to behave in that community and what you're going to give, and allow yourself as a brand the resources and the content plan to do that, so that when you decide what your ROI is on that community, you're really clear about what you're measuring. I think one of the best things is referrals and that brand goodwill, that brand trust that you're building there in those communities, and then you're basically creating ambassadors for you.
Yes, and the key thing to remember is when you build that community, what is your problem and how are you solving it? It's just basic marketing. What's the problem? How are you going to solve it?
Perfect.
And it's not about selling. It is engaging your community. And I will say Sephora has one of the best communities. However, they are one of the only ones that could pull that off into their own website. There's not a lot of companies that could pull their customers off of social or off of a Discord or off of a Slack and put them in to a website forum. We've had plenty of people come to us saying, I want to develop a forum on my website for my customers. And it's like, go use something else because your customers aren't going to go there because you're not Sephora, you're not Apple. I don't even think Apple has one, but I'm just saying there's only a certain amount of companies that can do that.
And people like platforms that they're familiar with, right? In terms of UI and just familiarity. They already know how to use Slack. They already know how to use Discord. So if they're already there looking at other channels and other communities, it makes sense to put yours there. So how would a brand decide which one of these platforms to use?
So my rule of thumb is, what's your demographic? If you are over 45, just use Facebook groups. I went into a Facebook group and was asking questions about a community that I would like to start, and that age group is over 45. Maybe over 40 even. I would use Facebook groups. It's free. People are already there. But the younger crowd, they like Slack, they like Discord, they like Telegram, they like Substack. I mean, even over 45 people like Substack, but those are places where people are already coming. The thing I really like about Substack is it goes right into your inbox. So it will go right into your inbox. You don't have to go there. Whereas with Slack, you have to go onto Slack. Discord is on your phone or on your desktop, and it will give you notifications, and so will Slack. But we're finding the under 40 don't want to be in a Facebook group.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Facebook group's the OG. This is what started it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I love Slack personally. So one thing I've noticed is that clients will come to us and they want to emulate a trend that they've seen that someone else has been doing or that is going viral. And it doesn't really align with who they are as a brand. And then there's kind of this conflict of, we don't really feel like they should be creating that kind of content, but they really want to because it's trending. What do we do with all of that?
I feel that when I look at a brand, I look at how can they be different from everybody else. It's that blue ocean strategy. And if they're doing what everybody else is doing, they get lost. But if they do something fun and innovative, and they'll say, well, I don't like watching those. Well, are you your ideal client? Like right now we're seeing, funny little skits trending. We are seeing education where somebody's talking and there's sounds and captions and pictures swooping in or little GIFs swooping in and that kind of keep people there. When your content is original, that will get more views and DMs and sometimes more comments. So there's a delicate dance. We kind of say we're going to do half of what your competitors are doing, and we're going to also make you innovative and get you out of like the box.
Push you a little.
Yes. We're going to push you to do something that's uncomfortable. And you'll see in the beginning they're uncomfortable. And a few times in, they're still uncomfortable. But, the 20th time they've done it, it's a piece of cake. It's a cakewalk. And they will pause when they need to pause. They don't rush through it. So it takes practice and confidence to get there.
And they start coming up with their own ideas of their own brand's way of being funny or innovative or educational that is not following what their competitors are doing, but is truly a unique voice. Once they get that little bit of push and then practice, then the ideas start flowing.
Yeah, it's fun to see people come out of their shell about, the fifth time we go to make content with them or we record some content. They are in the zone. They get it done faster. They're not like looking for us for reassurance, which is fine, because sometimes we're looking for them for reassurance. Like,
yeah, that's what we're here for, all to support each other. But yeah, I agree. It makes it so much more energizing, collaborative. That is the part of the work that I love.
Yeah, me too. I love that too.
If you're looking for more tips like these, follow Dash for more.